Okie dokie, time for another Fox Girls favorites. I've got to put Fox Girls favorites in the title of the stream. Oops. My bad. But this was actually my first mainline Kirby game, which is a very important note. Because, again, my first Kirby game was actually, Air Ride. I did not play a platforming Kirby game for quite a bit, so yeah, I have a lot of memories of this game. I have a soft spot for this one. Early afternoon in Dreamland, it's so peaceful that even the clouds are drowsy. And now it's Kirby's favorite time of the day, snack time! Today's yummy snack is a sweet, fluffy slice of strawberry shortcake. Time to dig in. Whoa, the cake Kirby was about to eat has suddenly vanished. That scrumptious, berry-topped slice of mouth-watering goodness? No doubt about it, this must be the work of the greedy King Dedede. Well, there's no time to waste. Gotta get that cake back. And that's how Kirby's latest fantastic adventure begins. Alrighty, Kirby Squeak Squad. This is a very interesting Kirby game. In some ways, it's actually kind of basic. This game is interesting because it doesn't have the best reputation, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But it is still a game I have a soft spot for. Very nostalgic and fun, even though I definitely don't think it's like a masterpiece by any means. If I were to play a bunch of Kirby games, this would not be my first choice as a first Kirby game. I do think a lot of people were disappointed by this game when it came out, because it's just very basic. Sprite-wise, it reuses a lot of assets from Kirby Nightmare Dreamland. So yeah, it's a very interesting game, to say the least. But it's also very straightforward. This will probably be a one-stream game unless I completely botch it, which is actually a possibility because I have a migraine. But this game is so straightforward, I think I can handle it, even despite having a migraine. But we'll see if I'm overestimating my abilities or not. So, truth be told, this game does have a little bit of an interesting history. Bubbles Part 1. Tap to pop. Power up. You can keep up to 5. So the bottom screen is used for inventory. So Kirby's stomach, basically. You can tap the bubble to swap power up. So for example, if we tap this, voila, we now have Sword Kirby. Bubbles Part 2. Mixed bubbles. Try and see. You can keep up to 5. This game does borrow a lot from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. So the TLDR, to my understanding, is there's a company that was an offshoot. Find treasure and move on, who knows what's inside. There was a company that was an offshoot of Capcom, I think, called Flagship, that worked on the Oracle games for Zelda. I want to say Minish Cap also, and also Kirby and the Amazing Mirror and this game. I think they did a couple other games too, but I can't actually remember which they were. I do hope the volume's good. It feels quiet on my end, but I don't know how much I should turn up the volume either. I worry about it being too loud, so again, if you want me to turn it up, please let me know, because I'm kind of winging it anyway. But yeah, this game borrows a lot from Amazing Mirror. It has the same, like, copy ability system. So for example, there are different, like, combinations of moves instead of, like, adventure, where you basically just have a basic sword slice, for example. Basically what I'm trying to say is you have, like, an up attack like this, Final Cutter, more specifically. You can also combine powers if you get certain items, like scrolls. We won't see that yet. You can also do a multi-hit combo for certain copy abilities as well. So yeah, it's a pretty robust game, I would say. But again, it's a bit flawed by the nature of it being a pretty linear and also a very straightforward Kirby game compared to some. Like, this game is very basic, is what I'm trying to say. It's a very good... To me, it's a very good starting Kirby game just because it's so basic. As someone who had not played a Kirby game before, it was actually a good way to, like, ease into the formula. The reason I actually played this game first is I discovered it online. I'm pretty sure I had dial-up too, to make it even funnier of an anecdote. But also we have a big chest here, and that drew the attention of the Squeak squad. There's the Roach, there's Spinny, there's Doc. I'm trying to remember the name of the other Squeaks. I'm gonna be real, I don't remember. Anyway, we also have all these items, by the way. I haven't really pointed that out whatsoever. But the nice thing about this is you have different items that have different unlocks, like different different, you know, scrolls that give you slightly upgraded moves for certain copy abilities. You also have the very fun dynamic of health upgrades and actually the ability to merge specific copy abilities together. So yeah. There's also like special medallions that are used to unlock specific things, most specifically a boss rush, if I'm not mistaken, or something. And by the way, you can also take power-ups and like merge them together like so, in order to get different like healing items too. So the main gimmick is just like being able to use the touchscreen, which in some ways is actually kind of boring. This is a very like no-frills kind of Kirby game, for better or worse. In some ways it reminds me of the overall reception of, what was the Switch one? Star Allies, where it's like, it's a decent Kirby game, but also just kind of basic, I guess. Like, I actually do enjoy Star Allies a fair amount, but I also get why it's not very well liked, because it's just kind of straightforward. It's very easy. I do feel like, in general, Kirby games do have uneven... Well, Nintendo in general has been having very uneven difficulty curves as of late. Most notably, I feel like Bonanza recently was a good example of this, where it's very easy, but the post-game is ridiculously hard. So yeah, kind of a mixed bag in terms of overall difficulty scaling. Wow, my ability to type is not great at the moment. As I'm looking at my ability to type the phrase Squeak Squad. But again, it was a weird experience. I've never experienced a migraine like this before. To talk about that a little bit. For example, like part of my face went numb, which was fun. I still have a lot of pain on the left side of my head, but like the numbness is easing up at least. I'm also having like kind of like shimmery vision kinda on the one side. Even that's a little bit better than it was. The basic issue is I kind of was scared it was something really serious, which it probably isn't. But again, I am prone to migraines. This is not a first. I've definitely had migraines before. But I was also like noticing I was having trouble like typing and speaking too. Because I was kind of losing motor function on the right side of my body, essentially. So that was fun. But, oh shit, I almost went the wrong way. We want to go through this door. But I think I'm generally okay, not to worry anyone. But yeah, it was not fun. It was definitely very scary. And I definitely hope I don't experience a migraine that bad for the foreseeable future, because that was very not fun. But again, this game is pretty easy to the point, and I've also played this game like 50 million times, to the point that I feel comfortable playing this game despite having a migraine. Ow. Just because I do feel like, you know, there's not a lot of dialogue, so reading isn't that big of an issue. And again, dialogue, it's... What am I trying to say? I actually think I forgot a treasure chest now that I think about it. I can't remember if there were 2 chests or 3 in that stage, now that I'm thinking about it. There were only 2 in that one, cool. That's good. Hi Aiden, welcome on in, hope you're doing well. Thank you for the head pats. But yeah, the migraine is, I think, improving, so that's good. So there's these little, like, small Kirby bubbles. If you collect 3 of them and merge them together, you can get, like, an extra life, which is nice. Oh, thank you, Aiden. Yeah, I hope it clears up too, as I'm not having a great time with it. But I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Neat. Cool. I also, like, had to re-log into, Twitch the other day, so that was fun. You had one on Monday? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I personally am not a fan of migraines, so I can definitely commiserate, because I am going through it right now. Again, not to keep talking about it. So fun thing, this, like, thing in the background is very similar to the monster portal from Kirby Right Back Atcha, after all. Out of Kirby Right Back Atcha, of all things, that's what I was trying to say. No actual references to, like, enemy or anything, to my understanding. I think enemy and, like, Escargoons show up in, like, Mass Attack, I think. Anyway, we got boss medallion, a boss badge for Deity. What's this? Someone's stolen King Deity's treasure chest. Of course, he doesn't know a thing about the strawberry shortcake, so what's going on? Who's really behind the disappearing shortcake? Suddenly, a whirlwind appears, bringing a band of big-eared strangers. Who are these guys? A band of thieves known as the Squeaks. With treasure chests in tow, they begin to march jauntily away. King Deity acts as quick as a wink. He grabs Kirby and hurls him at the Squeaks. What a shot! He throws a perfect strike, and the Squeaks teeter and lose their balance. They all tumble into a deep chasm, taking the treasure with them. Surely the shortcake is part of the lost loot. It looks like Kirby's quest isn't over yet. I mean, it shouldn't be. We literally just started the game. Of course we're not done yet. But we also have, like, Archer, or, like, Cupid. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, admittedly, I'm not the most locked in today, so I'm doing my best to find everything. We also have, like, Metal, which is, like, never shown up since, but also Metal kind of sucks because it's like stone but worse. I'm kind of just zooming through everything because I'm locked in, which is nice. Hey, guess who doesn't remember what way I'm supposed to go here? I want to say it's this way? Cool. Hey, guess who actually remembers some things about this game? Bubbles, very good. You can actually turn enemies into bubbles to store power-ups. So yeah, basically the bubble system means you can actually carry power-ups through specific stages, which is nice. Other than that, bubbles are very straightforward power-up. This little puzzle of just kind of breaking blocks in a specific pattern is used in so many Kirby games, it's almost kind of like, oh, well, here we go again. Never seen that before in a Kirby game. So yeah, we have the basic gameplay loop, so we have Spinny again. I think that's Spinny. I need to double check what the names of the Squeaks are, because I actually can't remember what their names are. Yeah, I'm just kind of zooming through. In terms of, like, overall difficulty scaling, this game is pretty straightforward, I would say. This one is, like, there isn't like a post game that's like particularly difficult either. So this one is very accessible if you're like new to Kirby. Oh yeah, the little star seals, you actually do need to progress through the main story. Basically, you need all the star seals to access the last world. Cutter is right here. I should have grabbed Cutter actually, because I think we actually need that for something later on. I'm trying to remember, there's a couple pathways where you have to go through twice in order to actually get things. But hey, guess who doesn't actually remember what way we're supposed to go here? Kirby, yeah. There are 2 power-ups in this particular section. I'm gonna merge some of these just to get them out of the way of my inventory a little bit. I actually kind of want Bubble, just because I'm wasting like a lot of inventory. Again, you can also get like paint to like change your Kirby color. So for example, I am currently pink as per usual for Kirb, but you can get the other colors too for like Air Ride and so on. Which actually raises the question of what are they gonna do about like Air Riders? Which, speaking of which, tomorrow at the time of this, you know, stream, because again, in terms of like the YouTube uploads, it'll be a hot minute before I actually get to it'll be a hot minute until I get to scheduling this for the YouTube uploads. But to put things in perspective, it's gonna be a bit, but at the time of this like stream, it is true that we are getting a Kirby Air Riders track tomorrow. It's apparently an hour long, which is kind of absurd, to be honest. I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest, because it's like, what the hell are they gonna talk about? What the hell is Sakurai gonna talk about for like an hour? That's the problem. So, if the Squeak gets a treasure, you basically have to fight them in their little hideout, like so. Tornado is very good. The only issue with tornadoes, you have to like wait until the power-up like stops activating. If you wait too long to actually enter the door, you also have the issue of it sealing itself, so you have to redo the entire stage again. Which on one hand is not that bad, but on the other hand, I do feel like this game has a lot of padding. For example, the Squeaks will like be stunned temporarily, and you can't actually deal damage in that case. Anyway, that's another treasure down. I'm gonna do this. This allows you to like spit out a star like so. Just a quick way to easily build up a decent amount of copyability-less attacks, basically. Storo is the other Squeak that I could not remember the name of, in case you were wondering. We got a ghost medal too. The ghost medal is used for unlocking something special later on, but that's gonna be a hot minute. We actually have the Green Queens song here, which is kind of funny that Green Queens shows up this late into the game. But yeah, this game actually has pretty heavy asset use also. Like, the basic assets are comparable to the GBA ones. This is kind of a unique level actually, starting out with the big chest at the start instead of at the end. They definitely want to test you on, like, using the wheelie power-up. There's definitely cases of needing to, like, do very specific tricks to actually get that. To get specific, treasures. We should have a mini-boss coming up. Most enemies in Kirby games do actually have names. Hell if I know what a lot of the enemies are called, to be honest. A lot of the games do actually say the names of enemies. This is not one of them, unfortunately. Which definitely is complicated. We have the scroll, as indicated by the scroll icon, near the animal copyability indicator. So we actually have this little drill move, for example. So, yeah, different power-ups allow you to, or different scrolls allow you to access different areas. I wanna say the last... the last treasure should be somewhere in here. But I don't remember where, so that's fun. But yeah, personally, I do think this game is just kind of a nice little chill time. It's not my favorite Kirby game anymore, by the nature of it being so straightforward, to be honest. It's actually an interesting question of what is my favorite Kirby game? It feels almost cliche to say Robobot, but that's up there. Forgotten Land is definitely up there too. I've thought about adding Forgotten Land to Fox Girl's favorites as well, but I have not decided for sure. At some point, I would like to do a Forgotten Land playthrough. Again, I don't even own the DLC. I'm kind of just waiting for the... Ow. I'm kind of just waiting for the DLC to go on sale, because $20 is kind of a lot, to be honest. I'd kind of rather wait. Oops. So yeah. I have heard decent things about it, other than it's just really expensive, which is kind of just video gaming in general at the moment, is everything is too expensive. This level kind of sucks, I think. Yeah, this one kind of sucks. Yeah, I am hoping I can get through this game in one stream. I think I can. The biggest issue is, yeah, having a migraine. So we'll see if I can actually get through this game without too much trouble. I think I can get through this game in one stream, but we'll see. I mean, what are we at? Like, we're almost done with World 2. And, you know, we're already almost done in like half an hour. So I think I can easily beat this game in one stream. Assuming I don't completely botch it. So 2-5. See if I remember what I'm doing, by the way. You can also pause to actually see, like, moves. Which is good, because a lot of the Kirby games in this era do have quite a few different, like, special moves. So, again, that's a difference between, like, not Amazing Mirror, Nightmare in Dreamland in this game. Is actually having access to all of the different, like, alternate moves and not just kind of having one or two specific moves for everything. One issue I kind of have with this game is a lot of things are kind of designed for one, like, playstyle, kind of. To the point that you don't really run into some things until much later. So for example, the idea of getting a specific power-up to actually advance is not as helpful as it could be, just by the nature of it being limited to a point after you actually get the, like, scroll for it. So for example, we don't have the ice scroll yet, which would be really nice, but we don't have it yet. Cool. So you have this little, like, metal enemy. Ah, okay. Again, I really wish they would label enemies. One fascinating thing is just how, like, messed up a couple things are in terms of, like, for example, like Mr. Frosty. One of the games calls him Mr. Flosty, if I recall correctly, just because of, like, issues with Japanese and, like, language. The little metal blocks there have to be broken using, like, specific powers, like hammer or metal, if I recall correctly. I don't know how helpful that will be, so we're just gonna ditch that for now. I do have a guide to list the treasures, because I would like to get all the treasures, but I'm also not guaranteeing I'll get them all in one run. Just because I've played this game a lot of times doesn't mean I remember everything about where everything's hidden. Because I always forget which order I need to go in. In some cases, you actually are able to just pick up the treasure and leave. Other times you actually do have to fight them. The ones where you don't have to fight them are actually very nice, not gonna lie. There's another level where I'm a little bit worried about getting horribly lost if this is the game I think it is. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So, like, truth be told, I don't remember where the treasures are in the stage. I need to actually think about that. And not just, like, completely work my way through everything. Yeah, Forgotten Land is really good. I also like Superstar, obviously. Superstar is almost tempting. But I am a little bit concerned about, like, Fox Girls Favorites as a series of just having a lot of redundancies. Another example of redundancy is Emerald for Pokemon. Because, like, we have a lot of Pokemon coming up in a row if I actually stick with that. So what I mean by that is, what I mean by that is with Kirby, like, what am I trying to say? Again. I know I'm not the best at, like, speaking sometimes, and I do think the migraine is not helping, because I'm, like, having a really hard time actually speaking at the moment. But what I'm trying to say is... like, Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon are going to be really close to each other if I actually do, like... both games, because both games are really important to me. It's just kind of like both will end up being very redundant. Which is why I'm a little bit hesitant to actually attempt that. You feel like I'm quite eloquent? That's good. I kind of don't feel eloquent personally, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I'm just kind of not the best at this, just because I am feeling a headache. So I think I might have, like... Let's see, I think we have to go through the bottom path from what I'm reading. I had to just quickly double check, because, like, I forgot. Ow. I think Hammer's special move is like a charge move, but we don't actually have to scroll for that one, so we're just kind of on our own. Hammer's a very good power-up, though. This one of my favorite Kirby moves is Hammer. In general, though, I would really like to be better at... Oh god, I remember this now. So you have the Gold Waddle Dee, which usually will have treasure, but it's just a little bit of a puzzle, essentially. Alrighty, I'm gonna turn the invincible item on. I've got the name of it, but just doing this to quickly run over to Storo and get the treasure. Again, in a lot of cases, you don't really need to fight the Squeak Squad. You can just go in, get the treasure, and then GTFO, which is actually kind of nice. I usually opt for that. We should have enough for a Vitality upgrade, which is nice. Not bad. That is another set of treasures down. If you get all the treasures, you will not notice a... You will not... Oh, god damn it. You will not notice the little, like, spinning stars. I'm pretty sure it's like... Wow, what is the range of this? I feel like the range is very limited. I'm doing my best, but I'm also not having a great time because of just hitboxes. I definitely feel like the hitboxes for this are throwing me off pretty badly. I'm not guaranteeing a no-death run, by the way. Just because I feel like I'm pretty good at this game doesn't mean I'll accomplish that. Alright, cool. Piece of cake. Nice. So that's World 2 done. Wow, I found a guide. It only goes up to World 2. That's not that helpful. Cool. So yeah, I don't think the stars rotate, but like they spin like that if you have only some of the treasures. Cushy Cloud. I forgot to actually say the names of the worlds up to this point. Neat. So yeah, World 3. This one's not that bad, if I recall correctly. There's a couple things in World 3 that I'm a little bit nervous about. I want to say one of the levels might be a bit of a problem. Though, to be honest, this game is at least a little bit nice from the perspective of I don't think they actually give you much in terms of, like, needing to get everything in one run. I think you are able to, like, separate things pretty quickly, which is nice. We actually do want to get laser for this. Again, a lot of things in this game are just borrowed from Nightmare in Dreamland, which is a remake of Kirby's adventure. That has its own story where I never played that game until much later. Despite having a GPA, I was not allowed to play that game because of the name of the game, because they were seeing it's like a horror thing. Like, oh, it's too scary because it has to do with nightmares. This is genuinely a thing, because I was very sensitive as a child. Like, to be honest, it's a case of like, yeah, I was very sensitive, so I do think that is a completely justified opinion. Ah, thank you for the hydration check. The level of me having to think is not great, honestly. Again, the headache is kind of applying, unfortunately. So, now that we have the upgrade for fire, I guess we can burn through that. We can also aim the fire up and down, which is also, I think, but actually, the power-up might not be for that. It might just be for the ability to move it up and down. I think you can still melt through if you do the special charge. This is another thing, actually. Well, this sucks. This is actually another thing worth mentioning, is the ability to... what am I even trying to say? Again, my ability to speak is not the best today. I'm hoping this migraine doesn't last very long. I've had migraines that last a few days before, so that's great. I hope this is more of a temporary setback, because I would rather not have to deal with this for too long, not gonna lie. Because I'm not having the best time with this, I'll be real. Like, I don't even remember what I was talking about, because I was gonna say something, and I have no clue what I was talking about. A lot of the music is also reused from Adventure and Nightmare in Dreamland too, so again, I do feel like it is a weird... Ow. I feel like it's a weird case of this game is simultaneously very fun, for what it's worth for me personally, but I also feel like the people who kind of play the game and are like, I don't really like Squeak Squad, it's like, yeah, no, that's valid. Because it is kind of like basic, I guess, and again, I think Star Allies has the same problem of just being kind of basic. And like, I genuinely do enjoy Star Allies, I just think it's kind of boring compared to some of the other Kirby games out there. Which is, I guess, another problem I have with, like, video games in general, is the ability to complain about things and not, like, you know, get super mad over, like, oh, this game is too derivative. It's funny, actually, the idea of video games being derivative. That term gets used so much, or at least it used to get used quite a bit. It's like, oh, this is so derivative. A good example of this is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is definitely like a wait, go back kind of moment, because everyone just kind of complained, from what I gather. Like, a lot of reviews were even kind of critical of, like, Thousand Year Door for being too derivative of the first game. And then Super happened, and then it's like, oh, well, I kind of miss a game that plays like Paper Mario 1 and Thousand Year Door. Was there only one treasure here, or did I just completely miss something? Because if there's 2 treasures here, then, oh, where the hell is it? Again, not every level has a full set of treasures, so we'll see. Because I don't remember. I'm also trying to find a guide that actually has everything. Okay, that only has 2. Cool. Again, most of the levels I feel like are pretty straightforward and don't give me that much trouble, but just a couple of them are like, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. We haven't used Cutter at all, and we already have the upgrade for it. Sadly, Final Cutter is not used for Cutter in this game. I think it is used in the later games, though. Again, to put things in perspective, Superstar was the first one to really emphasize having a lot more of a moveset. And then they kind of forgot about that entirely, and, like, Dreamland 3 doesn't have a special moveset. A couple of the other games also don't have, like, a special moveset either. Like, a good example of that is 64 has sort of special moves, but they're mostly tied to combining different copy abilities with other copy abilities, because you can actually merge them together. Fun thing, Superstar is one of the only Kirby games I've never actually finished in full. I've never beaten the final boss of Kirby 64, partly because I'm really bad about Igor. Like, genuinely, this is a huge problem I have with games. This is why I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, even though that's very well liked. Because games where people get, like, injured in the eye freak me out. I don't like Dreamland 3 for that same reason. Fun story. I've talked about this before, but I have issues with phantom pain. So, like, if there's some plot involving, like, an eye-related injury in a game, it freaks me out really badly. So, yeah, that's why I don't really like Kirby's Dreamland 3 very much. I actually don't mind the game that much. I do think it is I don't want to say overhyped, that doesn't feel right. I think it is disliked quite a bit, to be honest. And I think it is justified why it's disliked as much as it is, because, to be honest, I think Dreamland 3 is sort of basic, if that makes sense. Like, it's just kind of boring, I guess, for lack of a better word. And a lot of the missions are just extremely obtuse. So I definitely think it's a game that, I guess, simultaneously is kind of impressive, but also kind of annoying at the same time. It's a weird mix. I'm basically keeping an eye out for a couple specific missions where I don't remember what the actual order is for the collectibles. Once we get there, I think I'll actually recognize it. I think it's 4- something, which is the one I'm gonna need to look up if I want to get it first try, because I'm probably gonna forget otherwise. Oh, hi. Gonna toss that to the side to make sure I can actually get the power-up I need. There's one specific cannon in Adventure that I never understood how people get that so easily. It's in like 7- something. There's a particular item. It's not even for 100%. It's completely optional, and I find it one of the hardest like completion moments in Adventure is getting this one specific cannon. The timing is so strict on it. Damn, the game is giving us a lot of power-ups all of a sudden. Gonna merge those together. Okay. Guess who doesn't remember what to do here? Because I think there's stuff hidden in this, like, cloudy section. Like, you know, we can go all the way over here and we can get UFO. UFO is less rare in this game than other Kirby games, which is also nice. I'm gonna toss this again. If you get 3 of the little Kirbys, you can actually get a 1-up, but I also don't care. If I'm being real, I don't think I need the 1-up, to be honest. Even though the game is heavily, like, giving us a 1-up at this point. Hey, guess who doesn't remember what to do here? I'm gonna double check real quick here, because I don't quite remember what they want from me. Aha, okay. Oh, thank you for the head pats, Aiden. I'm doing my best. Again, this is a weird day to be doing a stream. I've never had to deal with a migraine and stream at the same time, so I appreciate the head pats and everything. Well, damn. I'm gonna die on purpose. I don't know if that'll reset the treasure. That's the other problem I have right now. I think what they want me to do is to actually go this way. Like, break this, like so. Gotcha. That's just me being silly and not remembering what to do. It's fine. It happens. So we got... Again, I think this one's name is like Spinny, and I want to say this one's interesting because no one can remember what gender this particular Squeak is, if I recall correctly. Like, there's mixed sources on if this one's like a girl or not. Something like that. Again, not exactly a Kirby expert, I'm gonna be real. But I want to say there was some confusion about, like, what gender is this Squeak in particular? We love an ambiguous Squeak, hell yeah. We have a lot of items. I'm kind of just ignoring them, actually. It's fine. Alright, got EX level. This one's annoying, if I recall correctly. I'll do my best to actually find the power up here, but... I see the big treasure right there, so that's something. I don't know if I should take, like, ibuprofen for this. Like, if that'd be a good idea or not. I might take take ibuprofen after this, just to hopefully deal with this headache. Now, to be fair, if it's a migraine, I feel like it's not gonna go away that easily. Again, I don't mean to just keep talking about this migraine this entire time. Truth be told, I also might take a break from streaming on Friday, depending on the headache. If all goes well, I'll also try to get a COVID booster next month as well. So I might also just be feeling crappy anyway. Like, if the booster goes badly, I might take Friday off, as a heads up. I'm also not entirely sure if I want to do a Resident Evil 2 stream. Because, like, the irony is, I know a lot of my friends don't like gore in games, and hey, Resident Evil is very gory. So I kind of worry about doing, like, a Resident Evil 2 rando. Even though realistically, I think I would enjoy a Resident Evil 2 randomizer, I just feel like it would cause problems. Hey, guess who doesn't remember which way I'm supposed to go here? It's like definitely a game where I feel like I need a gore warning. which means I want to actually design a thing that has a gore warning. By the way, I actually readjusted my overlay slightly. You might notice the chat and like stream fund and everything, the little like thing that shows the... Ow. The thing that shows the... like links to Blue Sky and Twitter, like those are actually updated now to show... well, they're updated to be a little bit higher because they used to be a little bit lower. So just a weird little adjustment that I did, because I'm like that. I'm like that with games. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? What if we just change this slightly? It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I'm still changing it, because why the hell not? How many power-ups are in this level? I think it's a small number. It's actually really nice having a game running at 60 FPS. This is really weird, like a really weird critique, but like so many Kirby games nowadays are 30 FPS. I want to say like 64 is a rare example of a game that's actually 60 FPS. Which might be a little bit surprising, because I almost feel like it's one of those that catches people off guard that runs as well as it does. This level sucks, by the way. I'm gonna be real. Because we gotta time this very carefully. Voila. First try. I'm kinda sad that the one level went so poorly that I had to redo it like 2 or 3 times. Just because, like, normally I do really well in this game. Oh, thank you for the reminders. I'll definitely take a stretch break before too long. But first of all, I guess we'll finish up World 3. There should be 8 worlds in total, by the way. I kinda wanna go with Tornado. I think this will be our best bet to actually get through this quickly. So we have like Mecha-Kracko or something like that. It's just Kracko, but like not. Hey, wanna know something wild? This is one of the only Kirby games that doesn't have Wispy Woods. Like, genuinely. Like, almost every Kirby game has Wispy Woods as a boss fight. This is a rare exception. I also want to say this boss has like 2 phases. Yeah, and Doc is actually running one of them. Ah, okay. Okay. I'm doing my best here. That's a problem. Well, back to Beam, I guess. Okay. Cool. I guess we'll go UFO then. But, oh, shoot. This is a problem, by the way. Let's see. Math time. Basically, Nightmare in Dreamland and... Thinking emoji. Nightmare in Dreamland and Amazing Mirror both have a system, and also this game, by the way, have a system where if you take damage, you basically lose your power-up. Later Kirby games change it, specifically like Return to Dreamland onwards change it, so if you take damage, you basically get to keep a power-up, which is very nice. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, how easy it is to lose a power-up in this game. Another thing I actually need to work on is 3DS layouts. I have a method of streaming 3DS games, but there's actually a problem with it, where it's very difficult to actually... What am I trying to say? It's very difficult, actually, to go through that game. To go through 3DS games, just because of how difficult it is to... separate screens. The TLDR is there's actually a feature where, like through Homebrew, you can actually have 3DS games run wirelessly instead of through a capture card. which is nice. I really like that. It's not perfect, obviously, because you are at the mercy of Wi-Fi. There's no Ethernet, obviously, for 3DS. So, like, Animal Crossing New Horizons is definitely in the running for Fox Girls' favorites. It's not fully guaranteed, just because it is kind of a nightmare to set up, to be real. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? Again, just because I am good at this game doesn't mean I actually remember what the hell I'm doing. That's the only problem. Cool. This should go somewhere. Amazing Mirror is also interesting because it's actually more of a Metroidvania, but like a co-op Metroidvania, which is really weird. Like, that feels like such a weird combination. It's fascinating, really. I personally like Amazing Mirror, but I also kind of don't like Amazing Mirror because it's very complicated. Just having a Metroidvania Kirby game is like, this is cool. Also, this is frustrating as hell. It's like a weird mix of both. Now, once again, I'm gonna chuck this to the corner. Oh hey, the treasure's here. Cool. Cool. Ow. I'm just gonna chuck this. Neat. Okay. I, for some reason, thought they didn't have the treasure for some reason. But that's fine. Cool. So, yeah, we're coming up pretty closely to one of the treasures, I think. So I'll have to double check on that. Either way, ads are coming up soon, so we're gonna pause here for now. I'm definitely gonna take ibuprofen and see if that helps.